Last year, I turned into a bit of a research goblin and learned everything there was to know about bedding. So today, when I was putting my duvet into my duvet cover, I realized perhaps this is a good video to talk about. So today, we're going to be talking about duvets, comforters, and everything you need to know about different materials that go into them. So starting with style, we want to talk about what's the difference between a duvet and a comforter. Simply put, a duvet is a two-part system. So you have the duvet and then the duvet cover, similar to a pillow and a pillowcase. You take the duvet and painstakingly put it into the duvet cover. Now, the benefit of this is that you can wash the duvet cover very easily. You can switch it out. You can replace the duvet cover or wash it easily and keep the duvet going in pretty much pristine condition. Now, with comforters, it's a one-part system ready to go out of the box. It's a little more North American, if you will. Basically, you just have a heavy sheet called the comforter, and that's about it. Now, to prevent it from getting dirty, you're gonna wanna sleep underneath a sheet or a top sheet. So you're gonna have your mattress, your fitted sheet, your top sheet, and then your comforter on top of that to keep you warm. Whereas a duvet, you can just have your mattress, your fitted sheet, and then the duvet right on top of you, of course, encased by the duvet cover. Now, of course, you can swap the two if you like. You could technically put a comforter into a duvet cover. You can technically use a top sheet with a duvet. You can swap them, but for the most part, it's gonna be a little bit easier to use a duvet and a duvet cover because there's a little bit of loops around each corner, so you can tie it to the duvet cover a lot easier. Now with the comforters, you can't wash them as easily, which is pretty much their major con, so it seems like a lot of people are switching to the duvet system. Now in my preference, I am a duvet guy. I think I just like the feeling of cleaning your sheets, actually washing the cover, and having nice clean sheets and not just that fabric barrier in between. Now next up, let's talk about materials. So the first material we'll cover is down. Down is very light, fluffy, breathable, and a really great insulator. A lot of people use down. It's probably one of the more popular choices, for me included. Now down obviously comes from down, or down is down. It comes from ducks or geese, okay? It's not feathers, they're separate. Down is typically what's underneath the feathers to keep the bird warm, whereas feathers are built more for flight. So they're a lot more insulating, okay? Now you can get feather down mixes, which are gonna be a little bit cheaper because feather comforters are cheaper. So if you wanna have the similar feel and look and fluff and loft, you could go with a down feather mix, which is going to be your budget option. Now with down, there are a few things to consider. So one thing is your loft. So your loft is going to be that kind of big number. It's going to be like 650 loft or 850 loft. That's the quality of the down. So that's not the quantity of it. So it's not like there's 850 particles per square inch or anything like that. It's the actual loft of each individual down piece. The ones that are of higher loft, for example, an 850 versus a 650, is gonna be a little more insulating, meaning in order for you not to get as hot, you're not gonna use as much, but you're gonna use that higher quality. So an 850 loft down might feel a little airier and lighter while still having the same insulation capabilities as a slightly heavier 650 loft down. Now, if you physically want to add more down to the comforter, you're going to be looking at the fill. So your fill might be like 16 ounce or 18 ounce. That's going to be the amount of down in the actual comforter, okay? Down is incredibly insulating. So if you're looking for down, it's your first time getting a comforter or a duvet, I would go with the regular season or the summer season. I would stay away from the all season because all season or winter usually refers to winter and a little bit heavier. I would err on the side of summer and lighter down comforters or duvets, especially if you're sleeping with someone because they are pretty hot. Now, like I mentioned earlier, a feather down combo is going to be also very good in terms of loft and fluffiness. And it's not going to insulate as well because feather don't do as good of a job as insulating. So if you want something a little bit cooler, get a lower loft, a lower fill, feather, down mixture. That's going to be pretty good and a little bit cheaper as well. Now the next material we're going to cover is wool. So wool is almost the opposite of the down comforters. It's very dense and not thick. It's dense and like flat, okay? So it doesn't have that airy, cloudy feel like you're gonna get with down. It's like kind of just like a thicker, solid blanket. Some people like that feel, some people don't. Now they do say that wool is a little bit better in terms of like hypoallergenic properties than down. Wool, very good insulator, very good breathability. It's a natural fiber, just like down. It's a little more ethical. Down's not the most ethical practice of harvesting, but yeah, you don't get that loft, airy feel that a lot of people enjoy. Okay, the next thing is silk. Silk, again, natural, breathable, cooling. Very good, very expensive. If you're wondering how that process is made, basically you take the silk cocoons and you boil them and process them, and then you have like the cocoon shell, and then instead of those shells being spun into threads, they're kind of stretched into sheets. Those sheets are stacked, and then you get that fill from there. So it's basically like a bunch of silkworm cocoons stretched and stacked. This material is very expensive, but also breathable, very insulating, and a little bit lighter feel than even the best down. So silk is kind of the premium for high insulation and very lightweight feeling. The next material is bamboo. Now, bamboo is a natural fiber, but it's kind of semi-synthetic because bamboo typically is processed heavily and turned into rayon, okay? So unless you see that the bamboo is mechanically separated or like raw bamboo fibers, you're probably gonna have a bamboo source material or semi-hybrid of bamboo being chemically processed into rayon, because that's how you get the bamboo fibers to have that soft feel. Bamboo, again, with all of these natural fibers, is fairly breathable. It's not going to be as good as down in terms of insulating properties, in terms of loft. It's not going to have as luxurious of a feel by any means, but it is a great option if you want to go a little more vegan with your duvet choices. Now, this leads me to the last choice, which is plastic. So plastic fill. Of course, I like to call it plastic, but the marketing guys will call it microfiber or down alternative. But it is plastic, usually polyester. Polyester is PET plastic, or polyethylene terephthalate, which is made from pop bottles, which is good. Typically, a lot of polyester is recycled from plastic bottles, but you are going to be sleeping essentially in that used Coca-Cola bottles. It is a very easy to clean material. It's very cheap. It's very durable. A lot of people like to use it for like kids' bedrooms and stuff like that, because kids typically don't sweat and overheat as much as maybe like an older guy. You don't have to worry about it because it's a lot cheaper, and you don't have to care about stains and whatnot. Now, in adulthood, when I moved out and went to college, of course that was the cheapest option. You go to IKEA, you just buy the comforter, it's polyester, and you use it. But that's actually what got me so into duvets, because after just bad sleeps and getting sweaty and just wondering why I never felt rested, I went deep dive into this whole duvet material madness and realized the differences of these. And since I went to a down feather duvets, I can't go back. They are such a big difference between a plastic and a natural fiber that you really can't go back. Now, it's important to realize that when you are buying these things, there's no real such thing as a deal. I remember having this exact same conversation with my mom, who wanted a new duvet, and she has lots of allergies and eczema and stuff like that. So I was helping her pick a duvet for her, and she kept on sending me these deals on Amazon, like, oh, what about this $100 down duvet on Amazon? Realistically, down or silk or any of these natural materials, it's a commodity. It's like cattle and beef. It's like gold. It's like silver. It just doesn't exist in cheaper quantities. Just globally, there's a price for down. It's not gonna go below that. So if you're getting a $100 down comforter, it's probably mixed with synthetics, or the shell that is made out of is as cheap as possible, or maybe it's just all feathers and there is no down. I don't know what the situation is, but you gotta make sure that you're reading not just the title that says, down duvet, but actually the materials, because perhaps it's only 10% down or 5% wool and the rest of it is synthetic. Like a good quality king size down comforter is gonna be $400 to $600. Maybe if you are mixing feathers into that, it's gonna be $250 to $300, but you're never gonna get like a king size down comforter for like under $200 realistically. One company that I think is really good, which I use, is Canadian Feather and Down Company. Really good quality down. A lot of down is made in Canada, so for the Canadians watching, we got it right in our backyard, so our prices are actually pretty good. If you want the best quality down, you gotta go with the Hungarians. So as a Hungarian Canadian myself, maybe that's why I'm so down with the down. One Hungarian company that's really good is Hamvai Line, which is a Hungarian handmade down pillow and duvet company. Now going to fabrics. Now fabrics will be simple. You want to go with the shells of your duvet and your duvet cover to be natural. You don't want to take your down comforter and put it into a polyester cover because that would just ruin the whole thing. The cover is actually really important for your comfort. So you can go with linen if you want something a little more cooler. Linen's made from flax. You can go with cotton. You can go with bamboo. But if you are getting a higher quality comforter, make sure you get something with no polyester in it. Otherwise, you're just wrapping your beautiful duvet in plastic. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, now that we got the meat of this video down, a few other little tips. So the next thing is weave. So you can go with Percale or Sateen. Percale is a 1-to-1 weave, so it goes 1 over, 1 down, 1 under, 1 over, 1 under. Percale is my favorite. It is that very crisp hotel feeling. So it's a little rougher, maybe not like rough, but like it's a little rougher, little crisp. It's better at cooling. It's that hotel white sheet look, or most hotels, I guess. If you want to go with that really soft, silky material, it doesn't have to be silk. It's just the different weave. So that's a sateen weave. So that's 1 over, 3 down, 1 over, 3 down. It's a lot more silky, soft. It kind of like folds on your hand a lot better. Whereas a crisp percale is gonna kind of like maintain its shape, if that makes sense. And then so all of those materials that we talked about, like if you go with linen or cotton or whatever, are gonna be available in those weaves. So you could get like a percale linen weave, if that makes sense, which is gonna be very crisp and very good for cooling. And for one final pro tip, you can try the Scandinavian sleeping method. I hope the Scandinavians use this because it's gonna be embarrassing if they don't, and I'm just calling it that, which is basically if you're sleeping with your partner, you have 2 sheets on the bed. So instead of having like 1 king size duvet, you have 2 double duvets. Both have your own blankets. So as one person pulls, it doesn't pull the other blanket. Now to conclude this video, I'll just end off with my personal favorites, just so you can sleep like me. No, or just, after my research, this is what I find to be the best. Duvet, because you can wash it in a duvet cover, okay? The duvet, I like to have a light summer/regular fill. Make sure that it has a natural shell on top of it, so like usually cotton. And then for your duvet cover, I prefer percale to have that nice hotel kind of look and crispness to it. I always go with cotton, and I always go with white because white is best for my skin. I have eczema, so I don't like any artificial dyes and stuff on my skin. And at last, I don't use actually the Scandinavian method, but I'm looking into it because me and my partner, we get up at different times. She gets up at 4 a.m. She's a nurse, so we're moving around. She gets super hot, I get super hot. So maybe the Scandinavian method is for me, but I haven't tried it yet. Okay, take care everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video.